Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Josh Franklin from ATN. Came out here today, I wanted to talk to you guys. I'm going to try to do something maybe a little bit more informative to kind of show you guys maybe how I do things. Maybe you can pick up some tips or tricks, maybe learn something not to do. There's a good chance you probably learn something not to do more than you will to do, but anyways, I came out here today, I wanted to show you guys one of my favorite stands out here. It's called the airport stand. And the reason it's called the airport stand is because there's an airport right here. So I got my Thor 4 4-40 640 thermal scope in was it yesterday, and got it sighted in last night. I had to get the kids to bed. So tonight I'm going to take it out here. I'm going to try to do some calling out here and see how it goes. If this wind quits, I don't know if it will. Hopefully it does. We've had a bunch of rain here lately, so I'm going to try to see if we can't get some coyotes out here. I haven't called this in probably 2 to 3 months. So I'm going to kind of give you guys a little layout on this and show you kind of what I'm looking for out here. Again, maybe you can pick something up, maybe get some information on it. I don't know. I mean, I'll try my best to help you out. But I'm going to spin this camera around here real quick. So out here, what you're looking at is, again, like I told you, it's called the airport stand. So what this is it's just a big agricultural field. It's got it was a cornfield last year or this past fall, and now it's dirt waiting to be tilled up and planted if the farmers can ever get in here due to the rain. So what you're seeing here in the background, this is called 1,000 Acre Woods. And when I've been out here, I drove around a lot when I first moved back over in here, and I would call. And like you see my truck that I was sitting right up against, I'm right off the side of the county road. So I would stop and I'd call, and I'd find out where they answered. A lot of times, I don't know if you can see these guys over here, they're out here working, but a lot of times the coyotes will answer back in this section of the woods, and then a lot of times they'll answer right over here in this little, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of a cutover where this little tree line here ends and it goes back into the woods. So a lot of times they'll answer back in here. There is also a ditch that runs right here. You can see this green grass, and it runs the whole length of the field back, but also right beside me there's a ditch, and it runs the whole length back to this point, which you can see right there. So when I sit out here and try to call, I think, okay, with a lot of the rain that we've had and what I'm thinking for tonight's stand, I know that these ditches have water in them, so they're not going to want to swim to me. So like I was showing you where this creek goes up the field and where it comes out over here, that gives you kind of a, I don't necessarily call it a funneling. I mean, if they come into this field or they come into the adjacent field on either side, more than likely that's going to be where they're going to stop. So for instance, if they come over here on this side, they're not going to want to cross this creek, and vice versa. If they come over here, I mean, even if I've had them before where they'll run the whole length of the field, but they'll usually stop about right in, I don't know, right in here, and they'll stand there and look at you, which that's probably 125, 130 yards maybe from where I'm sitting, or where you guys are looking at to there. So that gives you just a little bit of an idea, kind of what different things you have to think about going into it. Obviously the other thing is, from where I'm sitting, the wind is blowing this way, so you don't want to make this stand. If, like right now, I wouldn't make this stand if it was dark, because that's exactly where the wind's blowing. So I'm going to try to make a stand tonight. Hopefully this works out. Obviously, if you're seeing this video, then there should be a video from tonight's hunt following shortly. If not, then you'll never see this video. But that's part of it. So hopefully we'll we'll have something work out here tonight, and then afterwards I'll kind of break down what happened, and we'll go into more in depth from there. So stay tuned. Well, the good news is, since you're seeing this video, that means last night's stand was a success. So what I wanted to do was take an opportunity and go kind of what I explained in the daylight video yesterday when I was showing you the layout of the land. I want to kind of go in just a little bit of detail about what happened on the stand and why it was successful. So if you remember when I talked about those ditches that ran long ways through that field, and that how down here in southern Indiana we've had a lot of rain, well, exactly what I was kind of talking about in the daylight video happened last night. So what had ended up happening was ATN makes it's a PVS 14 Gen 3 that I wear on a helmet mounted system, and I pull into the stand, lights out. I grab my gun, grab my tripod, grab my call, and I walk out about 40 yards. What I did then was I went ahead and walked my call out, got everything set up, and on the Icotech Outlaw, JD Pyatt he made a really good sound. It's called Nova Lone Howls. It's a young female howl. So I wait 2 or 3 minutes to kind of let the field settle down. I let out one sequence of that howl, and then I go quiet again for another 2 to 3 minutes. The next sound is called Scrappy Pup, which he also made. Phenomenal sound. I had extreme success with it back in the fall, in the winter, and then I haven't hunted in about the last 2.5 months just because I've been busy with personal stuff. So I played that sound last night, and I mean, it was like I never quit hunting back in the fall when it was working. It gets them going. So I let Scrappy Pup start playing. It made it, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half into the sound, and I was using the ATN OTS hand scanner, and I look over down the field on the left hand side, which I was showing you guys yesterday. Down that ditch, out come 4 of them from the woods. They ran the whole length of that ditch down to me, got right beside me, and stopped. Basically exactly what I told you they'd do. So I shot one of the 4, and we, I mean, good stand. One's better than none. So that's kind of what I was explaining also in that video, was when I told you guys back behind me with that airport, how the airport, or the wind was coming from the airport out into that field toward the woods. Well, last night there was a slight breeze, and it was coming from the woods toward me, so it was really good as far as scent wise. Especially now we're in this May, So, your pups, depending on where you're at, they're a little older. I know I was seeing videos and pictures on Facebook where the pups had their eyes open back in March and very early on in April. So that tells me they're anywhere from 12 to 16 weeks now. So the important aspect to take away from this was that the geography or the geographical layout of that field, and being able to know where they're probably at by locating and not hunting it versus when you're actually hunting it, knowing where they could potentially come from, what geographical obstacles they may interface with, and what they may do when they encounter it, which will lead to more successful stands because you'll be ready for it. It won't be a big surprise. You won't be sitting there wondering, well, why won't they come over here? You know why. So that's just one of the reasons why I did this video. I kind of wanted to give you a from start to finish information in the coyote hunting industry, or in Facebook, or whatever you want to call this. It's like this closely guarded secret that you can't tell people because people don't want you to know for some unknown reason to me. Me personally, I like to take information from 1, 2, 3, 5 different people, try 5 different things, find 1 or 3 things that work, and then pass that on to someone else who may be able to take the other 2 that didn't work for me, but it works for them, because depending on where you live, the coyotes may not do the same thing. So that's just one aspect of this. That's what we at ATN, we wholeheartedly believe in that. That's why they strive to make affordable optics. That's why we put out these articles. That's why we put out IGTV videos. That's why we put out our kill hunting videos. That's why I'm doing this video. We want to not only, excuse me, we not only want to make, affordable optics that people can get out and enjoy this sport, but we also want to make you successful in using those optics. If we gave you a padlock and no key, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good. And the learning curve with the predator hunting, especially coyotes, can be, what's the word I'm looking for, intimidating or hard to come by, depending on where you're from or what your background is with hunting them. But just giving you that information to be able to be successful is kind of the most important part of this. At least it is to me. Being able to make other people successful is crucial in this, because it just makes everyone better. So hopefully in follow-on videos of this kind of series, we can go and look at some of the different ATN ambassadors and how they do things, and get different ideas of their stand setups, because what works for me may not work for you. But what Josh Mapes in Michigan does may work for you, but it doesn't work for me. So hopefully we can get a different idea of how different people do it, and you'll be able to choose bits and pieces here and there, what calls, what stand setups, what you're looking for, what I look for versus what someone else looks for. That will ultimately make everyone more successful, and it helps to share knowledge both to experienced, novice, just your beginner, old timer. It doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with having too much information. It's only going to better everyone. So anyways, that's going to conclude this video. Look forward to hopefully doing a whole bunch more of these with you guys. And as always, if there's anything that us here at ATN can help you with, please don't hesitate to ask, whether it's choosing an optic or hog hunting, coyote hunting. I mean, we've got some of the best hog hunters in the country down in Louisiana. We've got Gene over in South Carolina, who's kind of a double threat with coyote and hogs. We've got a great group of people here with a lot of information from the east to the west, north and south. So please don't hesitate to hit us up and ask us any questions. We'd be glad to help you out, because like I've said multiple times, that's what we're here for. Thank you, take care, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys next time.